Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel sikhuluma ama-reality TV shows, ama-celebrities kanye nama-YouTubers. If it's your first time joining me today and you like the content on this channel, do not forget to press the subscribe button. So you guys, this morning I see this article. Okay, says former premier of the Premier League aired me. Okay, some complainant somewhere who's not named is claiming that she was aired by one politician. So I'm reading the story. It's not making sense to me because in this article they are not saying who it is, and I'm like, guys, we can't really sometimes to understand umkosanyana, you have to know the name, you have to know who they're talking about. So I was like, the story is not making sense to me. But I was like, it does sound like they're talking about this other politician whose name sounds like a name of a certain traditional drink, Maheu. Who drinks amaheu, guys? Yes, amaheu ngingakhumbula. I was like, this one sounds like it's the Maheu politician. Okay. So I was like, you know what? Let me just randomly go to the internet and search for Maheu, okay, and see what they're talking about in other publications when it comes to him. Okay. So I went and I searched for Maheu. And what do you know? Here is another article here. Maheu is denying certain allegations. Okay. I was like, it's him. You see here, they're saying Maheu denies the R allegations. I was like, it's him. I knew it. I knew it. Let's story sifana naye. Uyeni Maheu, guys. See, listen, some stories before you do them on YouTube, you have to kind of check if your funeral policy is paid up and all of that. I kind of feel like at this point I have to do that because I'm scared to talk about this story. But this is what I'll say, okay? According to the Sunday World, okay? This is a story written by Umzilikazi wa Africa. It says here, a former premier of the Premier League, Art May. This is a claim made by a certain complainant who is not being named here, okay? The former premier, whose name is known to the Sunday world, is being investigated by the police for alleged art. National Police spokesperson Brigadier Atlenda Mate confirmed that a man who cannot be named yet, okay, even though we know it's Maheu, allegedly, is being investigated after a woman opened a case against him on Sunday. Police can confirm that a case of R was opened and registered at the Monjo police station. Due processes will follow, said Mate. The SAPS cannot confirm the name of the suspect, even though we think it's Maheu, until he appears in court and is formally charged. An internal police report sent by the Sunday World suggests that the alleged victim told the police in her statement that sometime in March 2017, the former premier phoned her from Portugal and asked her if she had found student accommodation in Johannesburg. Guys, this is one of those stories where I feel like it's very important for us to get the background information because listen, Maheu is not going to randomly call Untando Mdletshe and ask her if she has found accommodation. That is not going to happen because Maheu doesn't know me. For Maheu to call me and say, Ntando, have you found accommodation? Have you paid for your accommodation? Maheu would have had to have known me previously and known about my struggles of paying for my own accommodation. Okay. So I do feel like in this story, we do need that background a little bit because otherwise it just doesn't make sense. She added that on his return from Madeira, he allegedly called her mother. You see now, not only is he not going to call me and ask me about my struggles to pay my own rent, but he's definitely not going to be calling my mother because he definitely does not have my mother's phone number. So if he has my mother's phone number, okay, then how do we know Maheu? Okay, that is the question. That's why I say that sometimes we just need a little bit of a background for us to be like, to be able to make a decision on whether we support this one or that one, we believe this one or that one. Okay. She added that on his return from Madeira, he allegedly called her mother and informed her to come and collect money for student accommodation. Okay. The former premier, who was part of the so-called Premier League during the former president Jacob Zuma's era, allegedly told the victim that if he scratches his back, she must do the same. That's another thing, you guys. You have to be in at a very close proximity for you to be able to scratch somebody's back in that way, you know? So I'm like, yeah, I need to know more about the background of this relationship. He also apparently gave her money for her accommodation for 3 months. She alleged that the former premier then started adding her at different hotels from around Sandton and Pretoria. The woman also claimed that she also fell pregnant with the former premier's baby in December 2019, and he allegedly gave her money to sort out the situation, which she claims she did in January 2020. The victim added that the former premier stopped communicating with her after she had taken care of the situation, except to say that he warned her not to tell anyone about the affair, which would ruin his political career. A senior politician who is sympathetic to the former premier, who asked not to be named, claimed that the case was politically motivated. Okay, let's just say that it is politically motivated, you guys. But what about the possibilities that this story might be true? Our politicians sometimes, like, that's a comment that you are going to make about the R allegations, and you are our South African politician, okay? Anyway, I'm not saying whether she wasn't art or not. I am just questioning how the case was only opened years later. I wish that they could start by saying, listen, our allegations are very, very serious. If Maheu did this, he deserves to go to prison. But these are the questions that I have. Okay, instead of just going on to defend your Maheu friend. Okay, if a woman felt so strongly about the incident, guys, like there are possible, like, are there any possibilities where you are art, but you don't feel very strongly? Guys, somebody asked me at some point in my life, but I don't really feel that strongly about it. That's not even possible. That's why we have this problem in South Africa. If a woman felt strongly about the incident, why didn't she open a case there and then? Have you forgotten that we are talking about Maheu here? Even I am scared sitting here in my corner at my desk. In my corner, I am scared to talk about this Maheu situation. Okay. Another politician who also asked not to be named, also suggested that there is a political agenda behind it. Yeah, there might be a political agenda, but did he do it? Okay, that's what we want to know. Did he do it? Do you believe he did it? And what do you think should happen to him if he did it? Okay, our politicians sometimes they will politic where it's just simple. Okay, as a human being, if this man did what he is being accused of doing, what should happen to him? As a politician, what is your opinion on that? Regardless of whether this is politically motivated or not. We can't rule out that there is a strong political agenda behind the case. This woman is, as far as we know, had a thing with the former premier and he took care of her financial. So you guys know about this relationship, okay? Listen, I need, whoever is the prosecutor or to pay attention to this, because this politician that is commenting here must be called as a witness because he knew about the relationship. Okay, he's even able to give an opinion on it. So one witness. Okay, we've got one witness. Now that he is no longer in the limelight, she opens a case against him. The timing of opening a case is very questionable. I'm not saying the incident did not happen. I'm just questioning the motive. The motive is for him to go to prison if he did it. Okay. What other motive could she have? Okay. Sunday World was told that a woman whose name is known to the paper is related to the politician's wife and that she had visited his home several times over the years. Okay, now that makes sense because I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be a random person. Now you have the person's number, now you have the mother's number. What's happening here? Okay, it's the relatives of his wife. Okay, a female politician who asked not to be named said gender based violence is a serious matter in the country and that it must be uprooted and reported to the police. And then after it has been reported, this is me adding that after it has been reported, it must be followed up on, and people must be punished accordingly if there is a need. The suspect, no matter how powerful and connected he can be, mustn't be protected but face the music. She said GBV must be stopped at all costs and reported to the police whenever it shows its ugly face. Efforts to get comment from the former premier was not successful. His phone was switched off, and those close to him claimed that they did not know his whereabouts. The Sunday World will update the story, I guess, as they get more information. This story was written on the 4th of December. Okay. Now we go to this one where he is denying it. Okay. Let me see which one. Okay, this one was written yesterday. Okay, so he couldn't comment back then, but now he has commented. So it says here, Maheu denies the allegations. Okay, African Congress for Transformation leader says he knows nothing about the allegations that have been brought against him. Reports have emerged early this week of a case of R that has allegedly been opened against Mageu has denied the allegation, saying that he would never do such a thing and he is against the AB of women. Okay. He says, well, let me not get into that. I do not know anything. I am clear I will never do such a thing. I have always been there and I am against GBV. I'm against the AB of women and all that. Okay. That we're talking about GBV, like, I support all of that because just all of that. Okay. I'm sure it is time. I am sure it is time. Things are happening, and I am sure that more will happen. Let's look forward and work hard. I want to assure South Africans that I am here on the ground working hard. Listen, you guys, this is a video where he is saying the very same thing that I've just read to you because he doesn't say much. He wants to talk about the fact that he's on the ground helping the people of South Africa, looking forward to doing more for the community, but he really doesn't want to comment a lot on the accusations except to say, listen, I know nothing about that. Okay, so there is a story of the politician that has a name that sounds like a South African drink, Amageu. Okay, it's up to you guys to say if you believe this story or not. I won't say well, if I believe it or not because I care about my life very much. Okay, but anyway, we will be following up on this particular story because it is of interest to us. I would love to know, you guys, what happens to him, if anything. Anyway, thank you so much. And also to the victim, you guys, if the victim does get a justice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.